Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Warhammer Weekend Times. My name is Stan, and I'm your host. And today I've got a 2v2 field battle for y'all. I am going to be playing as the Grand Principality of Reichland, and my ally Superfly is going to be playing as the High Elves. Our opponents are going to be Sippy Sapo, who is going to be playing as Kislev, and EL Psychonaut, who is going to be playing as the Skaven. Let's go over the armies really quickly, guys, and we'll go ahead and start the battle. EL Psychonaut, he's got a couple units of Night Runners and one unit of Plague Monks in the back. These have multiple HP, and they're really good flanking units. He's got a whole line of Clan Rats and Clan Rats Pikemen, and then behind them, he's got some Warplock Jezzails, which are basically a rifle unit, but they cause a lot of fear when they fire into other units. Here, he's got a Screaming Bell, which is going to reinforce the morale that his Skaven have. Typically, they don't have great morale, but the Screaming Bell really keeps them from routing. In the back, he's got a couple units of Storm Vermin and a couple units of Albino Guard, both very elite heavy infantry for the Skaven forces. And then over here, he's got, his other unit of Night Runners. He's got some Rat Ogres, which are a really nasty, monstrous infantry unit. And then he's also got a Doom Wheel, which operates a lot like the Empire's Steam Tank. I don't think it's near as sturdy when it comes to its HP or armor value. I could be wrong. I haven't looked at its stats myself, but it does have a little bit of a different fire. It's kind of more of an arc that you kind of see with, kind of like flamethrowers or something, so it can kind of cut through multiple units when it fires. My army over here, I've got a whole bunch of Ragnar's Wolves, which are a great shot cav unit. They actually have just one less charge in the same attack as Knights of the White Wolf. And they are light cav, so they actually outpace a lot of the other heavy cav units in the game. And I've also got 2 units of Knights of the White Wolf, speaking of, which are one of the better cav units that you can take or bring to the field with Reichland. And then I've also got 1 unit of Demigryph Knights, which my general is going to be in right here. Over here, my infantry corps is going to be mostly heavy infantry. I've got 1 unit of Sons of Manan, kind of cutting off my left flank from cav charges, or from what I thought might be a cav charge from maybe the Skaven if he brought some Doom players or something like that. And then in the back, I've got some dismounted Reichsguard. I've also got some Berganzas Besiegers. I think that's how you say that. Really good crossbow unit. I think has like 11 attack, so they can really shred units if they can focus fire them down. I've also got a couple of units of Master Engineers with the Peter handguns. Amazing unit for killing big units. Also, so kind of like the Burst Engineers, except these have only 9, I think, on their fire, but they fire so rapidly they can cut them down pretty quickly. I've got a couple units of High Elf Archers and some more dismounted Reichsguard. I've got 2 units of Empire Mortar and then 1 unit of Hellstorm Rocket Battery. And then I've also got some dismounted Reichsguard with Halberds, and I think that's it. Yeah, my other Halberd unit is going to be over here. I think that's my whole army, guys. Over here, Superfly, he's got some Swordmasters of Hoeth, and then he's got a whole bunch of Phoenix Guard. I think 4 units right here. Amazing amount of investiture into these 4 units, I'm sure. He's also got some more Swordmasters, and then I think he's got 2 units of Dragon Princes of Calidor. He's also got another Swordmaster unit in the back, and then hidden, he's got a whole bunch of Shadow Warriors, I think maybe 3. But a bunch of his army went into these 4 Phoenix Guard, and probably the Swordmasters as well. I think he's bringing 5 Swordmasters of the Hoeth. I think you start getting diminishing returns on the funds after maybe 1 or 2. So he's got a pretty elite army, what he's bringing, a little bit smaller. And then Sippy Sapo, he's got some Shekists, really good missile light cav, can really get around the field and pick off heavier units. He's also got some Griffin Legion, an amazing light cav unit, kind of like the Ragnar's Wolves, very fast, high charge, high attack. He's got some Svasniks, which operate a lot like the Dwarven Miners. They have throwing weapons that kind of like Nafatoons, actually, in an original Medieval 2, but I would say they probably have maybe a higher AoE on the explosions, and they're not quite as devastating per shot, but they are a little bit more numerous in a unit. In the front, he's got a whole bunch of Cassars, kind of a lighter archer unit. Then he's also got some Kislev Halberdiers, and then Monks' Outlaw Infantry. In the back, he's got a unit of Kreml Guard, and he's also got 2 units of Sons of Ursun. Amazing heavy cav unit. There's 56 in a unit. They have 2 HP each, and they have monstrous charge and attack. And then he's also got 1 unit of Tsar Guard. And then he's got some Streltsky, right here. Some really good rifle units that are pretty good in melee as well. You can see they have this Burgish axe right here. And then he's also got a unit of ice mages, which are really cool. Cool mage unit. They operate a lot like a mortar. Anyway, guys, I think that's all the armies. That took a little bit of time. I kind of dawdled some, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and get this started. I believe I am going to... Oh, guys, I'm sorry. It's still on 10%. So I was like, man, this is taking a while. Nobody's moving. But there we go. We're at full speed now. As you can see, EL Psychonaut is going to try and move around. He saw I kind of made a little bit of a box. And I guess my Sons of Manan seemed a little more of an appealing target. He is going to start moving his Doom Wheel up, though. As you can see, it kind of just trucks along. And then I am going to be moving my cav into maybe a favorable position into either of their flanks over here. And you can see the Doom Wheel starting to move. My Hellstrom Market Battery is also going to start shooting into Sippy Suppo's line. I am going to get some nice shots into his Halberdiers and a few of his Kossars, but not too many. Pardon me, guys, if I stutter or kind of hesitate on some of these names. I'm not super familiar with the Kislev unit names yet, but I'm still learning. He is going to avoid getting hit with his Ice Mages, though, from those Hellstrom Rocket Batteries, but I am kind of get some nice shots into his line. Over here, I am going to move my Ragnar's Wolves up, and I'm going to lose my Micro on them a little bit, and it's going to give him a chance to move his Plague Monks up onto my Ragnar's Wolves. I think I'm going to start pulling them out just in time, and then get a nice flanking charge with my other Ragnar's Wolves unit into this multi-HP Plague Monks unit. As you can see, a bunch of rats went down into that charge, but I don't want to keep them in melee combat too long. A few of them are going to get crushed between the Night Runners and the Plague Monks. And then I am going to lose a bunch of Demigryph Knights, actually, right there to that Doom Wheel. And they're going to try and charge into the Night Runners, but not get the charge off in time, and it's going to be bad, guys. I don't want to leave these guys idle for too long, because that Doom Wheel is... Well, it's not firing right now, but I didn't know that in the battle. But I am going to get kind of flanked by some Storm Vermin, and this is not good, guys. These have, these are pike units. Over on the other flank, I believe my Knights of the White Wolf did actually finish killing off his general unit in the Zargard, but then my other Knights of the White Wolf got killed off by his Sons of Ursun. So I did lose quite a few SKU units there, and I don't know exactly how much Zargard are, or the trade-off. They are a little bit less in a unit compared to the Sons of Ursun, but they're still a very strong unit. I think I did get a few good charges on there, but the Knights of the White Wolf have very high attack for a cav unit, so they typically can pay for themselves pretty well. Over on this side, you see some really nice charges coming in. The Dragon Princess Kalidor charging kind of through the Griffin Legions. This is not a very good engagement for the Griffin Legion, though, as they are light cav. They probably won't be able to kill these Dragon Princes too effectively without help from other units, but he is firing into the flanks of those Dragon Princes of Kalidor with his Chekists, and that is going to start picking off quite a few, as you can see, in this area. It looks like maybe he even got a shot with I think maybe his Ice Mage into his units, but you can see just a hail of arrows coming from those Shadow Guard that were hidden earlier. As you can see, just a line of these. These have, I think, 10 damage on their missile shots, on their arrow fires, guys. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit too excited, little ahead of myself. But they're very, very deadly unit, especially if one or two units focus fires down. Maybe a lighter armored unit, like maybe these Griffin Legion or these Muntz's Outlaws. We'll have to, see, look, it kind of not just a steady stream of arrows, not just kind of a wave, but just a stream of arrows coming in and killing a whole bunch of these units. I think he had 94, and now he's down to 55. Very hard to counter those arrows without some heavier cav. I think most of his cav, though, was tied up fighting against my cavalry. I did harass him a little bit more on his side than worrying about fighting against the Skaven. And as you can see on my side, the Skaven are going to begin to move up. I did move my Sons of Manan up to try and counter them, but they are going to just get peppered with some of those Warplock Giselles, and they are going to begin to rout. Even while there's still 64 in a unit, they really weren't getting beat, but the morale penalty that those Warplock Giselles inflict upon units is really devastating. Even my Ragnar's Wolves are also routing as well. As you can see, I also accidentally ran some of my Ragnar's Wolves units through my own stakes. You really have to watch out for that, guys. You can walk your cav through your own stakes, but you can't run them through there. I am going to begin to set up a wall against these storm vermin. This is not a really favorable encounter for my dismounted Reiksguard. While these are elite heavy infantry, the storm vermin do have multi HP and are the elite of the elite for the Skaven forces. My Ragnar's Wolves are going to move into kind of a nice flanking position against some of these clan rats. This is a good fight for them because they're going to probably get a lot of kills on these clan rats before they start to have to interact with the albino guard. But you can see the Zorblok Jezzails firing into my Braganzas, I'm sorry guys, I knew that I said that wrong. Braganza's besiegers, and they're going to begin to shake, or yeah, they're getting shaken, and they're going to rout momentarily, actually. But you can see the big line that those Warblok Jezzails shot into them and killed a bunch. They are an absolute deadly missile unit to have, and I may have should have maybe kept more of my cav or reallocated more of my cav towards those Warblok Jezzails, because they are really going to give me a hard time in this encounter. He's really set it up to where he's got some nice shots straight into my lines. And as you can see, my besiegers are going to be routing, still with 53, but some of my units that did rout earlier are going to be coming back. It is a big inconvenience, though, because once they get out here, it really scatters your line, and you're not going to be able to defend against some of these higher infantry. So you kind of see with Skaven that they have lots and lots of units or models in a unit. So like 133, while typically most of the Reichland units cap out at like 96, I think. It might be a little, it's in the 90s, it's something like that. But I do have my Ragnar's Wolves fighting against some of these rat ogres. Not a super good engagement, but as you can see, they're just swinging away at these rat ogres. This can actually be really advantageous. They have, see, look how fast their attack animation is, guys, and that's like 13, 13, 13, just again and again and again. An amazing unit used for flanking and charging. And I think they're only 1,500 gold. So they're a whole 1,000 gold less than a knightly ordered unit, and they can be used just as deadly as they can be, or as the knightly orders can be. Yeah, that was a little vague for me. I am going to try and be charging my Demigryph Knights into the sides of these Night Runners. I know they're probably the weaker of the two. Well, I guess no, I thought this was a different engagement. Actually, guys, I know there was another blob where there's some Night Runners that end up being kind of the weaker of the engagements because the other units were the albino guard. But this is really good, actually, kind of, sort of. I got my Sons of Manana in here fighting, but he does have his Sons of Ursun right here, which are a really amazing cav unit. I think they have just the same kind of speed on their attack animation as my Ragnar's Wolves, but they do have multi-HP. Oh my god, what is going on right here, folks? What is going on? This guy. Wow. Okay. I don't even know what to say about that. I'm going to be moving my Demigryph Knights into these clan rats and night runners. They are going to have break. They are going to break. This whole area is going to break, though. But over here, he is going to have a Screaming Bell kind of in a position where I'm going to have some trouble getting these units here to break for two reasons. One, they're albino guard and they have really high morale, and it's very hard to get them to break as it is anyway. The vicinity of the Screaming Bell is pretty much going to prevent them from routing whatsoever. And you could even see the Screaming Bell guards, or the, yeah, I guess I don't think these are albino guard. They may be storm vermin specifically, but I don't know the lore that well, folks. They may be their own their own kind of subsection of Skaven. But I'm going to be trying to charge my Demigryph Knights into some of these storm vermin over here. Let's go check out what's going on in the battle, guys. I've been focusing a little bit too much on my side. As you can see, Sippy Sapo is going to start moving his mortars and his Streltsy into some more of an advantageous position. Amazing over here. Oh, I was going to say amazing shots. Amazing shots from the Vastix over here into the Phoenix Guard. As you can see, killing a bunch of these Phoenix Guard. Really devastating in close range. But he is going to get them away just in time, and hopefully get them to fire back at these Phoenix Guard. But it looks like they're still going to be running away. I don't know if his... Oh, no, they're going to be... Hopefully they're going to turn their Malevolent Gaze back onto these Phoenix Guard, if we're lucky, guys. It looks like they're trying to, but it's a little bit hard to get some of these missiles... Yeah, here they go, guys. They're going to start firing. Let's watch this. Here we go. Firing their... I guess those are Molotov cocktails, or something similar to those. But right into the Phoenix Guard. Just a few at first, and then I think all of these other ones are going to fire just kind of like, just at once. Come on, guys. There we go. Another one. Missing one. Kind of over. then a whole bunch at once. Going to kill a couple of the Phoenix Guard right there, and that's going to cause them to shake. And then the rest of them are going to just unload into that Phoenix Guard unit, and they're going to waver, hopefully break if they're lucky. If he's lucky, there's only 9 though left in the unit, and he's getting a little bit at risk for some friendly fire. Oh, but they're going to break too, maybe getting a little friendly fire from those Vastniks. But he's going to start throwing it into what's left of those Phoenix Guard units. But then they're going to be reinforced from another Phoenix Guard unit. I think from the one who engaged that melee, or was on the other side of that melee engagement earlier. There's not going to be a hole left in this unit. He's going to get a nice throw right before they charge in, though. Kill a couple, and I think that's going to be it for those Vastniks units. Or Vastnik unit. Did a lot of work that game. Really cool. This guy looks like he's still going to throw something. Or he wants to. He's just going to throw it out into the dirt. He's going to just throw it out into the dirt, maybe. No, he's not going to throw it, guys. Anyway, guys, I think that's most of the engagement over here. The Shadow Warriors absolutely cut down a lot of the Kislevite forces. As you can see here, I think this was mostly Shadow Warriors as well, killing most of his Streltsky. Again, guys, these have such a high attack and rate of fire that bringing 2 or 3 of them into the field, they're 2,000 gold per unit, but they are really, really devastating. If you can keep them alive, you can absolutely shred units. Over here, the Sons of Ursun are going to kill what's left of my High Elf archers, and I think that's kind of all I had left. I only really had, what was left from that engagement, my Demigryph Knights and my High Elf archers. Most of my infantry had been cut down by those Albino Guard once they had gotten encircled. But you can see just the hail of arrows and these Sons of Ursun charging into these Shadow Warriors, getting a really nice spread of kills among these. Just a big chunk, really almost cutting this entire unit in half. And he's going to pull out for another charge, but you can see some of these Shadow Warriors are going to start targeting the Sons of Ursun. He's going to begin to turn around, but get pelted with arrows, and it's going to thin his numbers down from about 20 all the way down to, like, I think 6 bears. That's just a really good example of how just devastating these Shadow Warriors can be when they focus down a unit, guys. These are 2 HP units. These do not go down easy. I don't know what their defense is. It may be more, defense skill oriented rather than armor oriented. I think that's one thing Kislev doesn't have is consistently good armor among most of its units. Not saying they don't have our good armored units. That they certainly do have some selections, or a selection of units that do have some armor, but they do have a lot. They're kind of like Russia in Medieval 2. A lot of kind of good light units, lots of skirmisher units. And that's kind of what makes up a lot of the roster is skirmishing, but they got out skirmished by these Shadow Warriors. There was just too much damage that was inflicted from their arrows. Over here, he's going to start moving up his Phoenix Guard. As you can see, I think he brought 4, and I think this is all he's got left is these 3, like half a unit and like a couple quarters of units. So he's got a lot of his Phoenix Guard did go down. I think he lost a lot of his Sword Masters as well. He's got 1 unit there, a pretty good healthy unit here. They're winded, but there's still 82 in that unit. That's quite a few. There's 70 in this one. So High Elves really retained a lot of their units, and I think that was, again, had a lot to do with the Shadow Warriors, and had a lot to do with the Phoenix Guard being a really good anti-cav response, as he is going to pepper down what is left to Sippy Suppose, his Sons of Ursun. It's so sad to see those bears go down. I love the bear models on those units. It's really cool to see cav that is not just horses in the game. But yeah. Anyway, guys, you can start seeing the Warplock Jezzails firing into the Shadow Warriors. I'm getting a few kills, but there's not many left. He's got a few Night Runners, some Albino Guard, his Warplock Jezzails, and then his Screaming Bell crew right here. But again, guys, Skaven don't have very high armor either, and I think they're going to get kind of punished by these Shadow Warriors. They have I'm just shocked that they still have ammo to fire. I don't think they ever run out of ammo this game at all. Looks like he's got a couple rat ogres, quote unquote. I don't think See, what I don't know about the Rat Ogre unit is if these smaller units that you see in those Rat Ogre units share the same stats, like the General shares the same stats when you put the General in whatever unit you put him in. Yeah, they may. I just don't know, because there's about half of the Rat Ogres are these kind of smaller, I guess, rat handlers for those Rat Ogres. But you're going to see a lot of these Swordmasters kind of bunching up, and I think he's going to eventually kind of start pushing them around towards the other side of the, towards his flank, right over here. As you can see, kind of these albino guards starting to get cut down. They probably took a lot of HP damage from those Shadow Warriors. I'm sorry, guys. Throat's getting a little dry. But anyway, yeah. These Swordmasters are going to be starting to encircle this unit of Albino Guard. Along with these Phoenix Guard, they're going to start charging in and getting into their flanks. They're just going to start just cutting them down. Only 14 left. 13. Oh, 13. That was weird. They jumped up to 14. Oh, maybe there are 2 Albino Guard in here. I could be wrong. But as you can see, even some of the Shadow Warriors still firing into this the Screaming Bell artillery. I guess you call them the cart crew, because this is technically considered a cart. But I really believe that the arcing in Call of Warhammer is a lot more accurate than Medieval 2, because as you can see, most of these arrows are landing up down onto some of these Skaven, and you see that with a lot of the artillery. The artillery, like mortars and stuff, where they have to arc their shots, typically are really accurate. You don't get a lot of friendly fire unless you just outnumber the units you're firing at a great deal. Typically, you know, in Medieval 2, there's more of a deviation spread, or I guess in vanilla Medieval 2, you see a much more, a spread of deviation from the bullets when they come down, and you have kind of a higher chance to hit your targets if they're in the same vicinity. But his Shadow Warriors are going to begin firing at his Warplock Jezzails. What's left of them, there's only 6 in this unit and only 14 here. Really cool shots, though. I like their muskets. You really get the idea that they're made out of like sewer pipes or something. But they have really cool shot. I like how it's a green bullet. But this Warplock Jezzail, I think, is also going to get focused down by the rest of these Shadow Warriors. You can see them firing all of those arrows in and just thinning this unit out. But at this point, it's just pretty much a win for the High Elves. Sippy Sapo and I got we got killed by the opposing members, and then it kind of was a meet in the middle. So it was a cool battle. It was a fairly even battle. I feel like the High Elves definitely showed their ranged capabilities in that fight. He didn't bring too many Dragon Princes or Illyrian Reavers, which are something else that you can really bring with the High Elves, but that adds a little more of mobility and flavor to their armies, because they have a little bit of a smaller roster at the moment. But anyway, guys, here's the kill count. I got about 1,600 kills. Superflying got 1,300. Scipio Sapo got 1,094, and then E.L. Psychonaut got 801. He brought a lot of rats, though, 1,800 units. Battle statistics, you can see Ragnar's Wolves paying for themselves with 269 kills. I think that's the highest amount of kills out of any of the units that I brought this game. But Demigryph Knight's still getting a lot with 222, but when you consider this one's twice, Demigryph Knights is twice as much, and only like half as many in a unit. You can really see that these Ragnar's Wolves did a lot of work. This one that only got 3 was the one that charged through my own stakes, so they didn't have really an opportunity to do anything. Empire Mortar's getting a decent amount of kills, or this one anyway. 14 for this one is, I'm sorry guys, a little indigestion, really kind of unacceptable for the amount that they cost. And then the Hellstorm Archibald getting 185 is really nice. But Ragnar's Wolves and Demigryph Knights really shining that battle, did a lot of work. High Elf Archers getting 106, and then Braganza's Besiegers getting 117. So a lot of kills from a lot of my range units and some of my cav units. My infantry did okay. But anyway, guys, that's the battle. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said in my other videos, if you guys liked anything, just let me know, or if there's anything that you guys feel like I can improve upon, please let me know. And if you guys are interested in playing this mod, or you do have this mod and just want to get some online battles going, just add me on Steam, and just let me know that you want to get a lobby going. And anyway, guys, that was the video, and hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you